I'm Sarah Gore and this is Open House NYC. This week we are celebrating Women's History Month in style, including how this designer mixed European sophistication with the original details in her client's dramatic loft. And we learn the feminist history of Manhattan's oldest home. Plus, we are with design entrepreneur Cheryl Eisen at one of her newest projects in Tribeca. But before all that, we are with jewelry designer and CEO Nicole Wegman at her impressive Upper East Side apartment.
I'm running a company, there's always a million problems that come up all day, and when I come home, I just wanted a space where I could really unwind.
Welcome to Open House NYC, everyone. We are celebrating Women's History Month, so it's appropriate that this week I am coming to you from Greenwich Village, which has always been not just a center of artistic innovation, but also of women's history. Right now, I'm inside one of the most famous homes in the neighborhood. 75.5 Bedford Street was once the residence of Pulitzer Prize-winning poet and activist Edna St. Vincent Millay, whose words and actions inspired a generation of American women. She lived in this 1873 Dutch-style townhouse in the 1920s, and as Edna herself might say, it gives a lovely light. Widely known as New York's skinniest townhouse, it's bright and airy every step of the way, with beamed ceilings, 3 bedrooms, charming entertaining spaces, and even a garden. Well, we are getting started this week at the Upper East Side apartment of Nicole Wegman, founder and CEO of Ring Concierge. Nicole has forged a career in a typically male-dominated industry, inspired by her and her husband's own search for the perfect ring. Now she shows how she designed her minimalist, loft-like home, where her apartment is the setting and the jewel is the city itself. See for yourself.
Hi, I'm Nicole Wegman, founder and CEO of Ring Concierge. This is my home on the Upper East Side. Come on in. So this is a 3-bed, 3-bath. We really wanted something modern, something really clean, all white, but what really drew us to this specific unit were the floor-to-ceiling windows and the double-story living room. So as you can see, this apartment is really an open concept layout. What I love about the design of this kitchen is how simple and white and clean and modern it is. We have Caesar stone countertop, we have all white poke and pull cabinets, concealed appliances. I'm a New Yorker, so I don't cook. But if I were to cook, you couldn't ask for a better view. So here in the living room, I placed a marble side table, really chunky wool pillows, a bespoke wood armchair, and a big banana leaf plant, so there was coziness and a lot of natural elements. Again, I really love all white, even when it comes to fabrics and upholstery. The key to making that work is finding fabrics that are stain resistant. Everything in here can be cleaned, it has been spilled on, it all comes up if you find the right materials, especially in rugs. Do a 100% wool rug and you can almost get any stain out. I accented the floor-to-ceiling windows with big linen drapes. I wanted a soft element and it really helps break up all the glass. And I intentionally left the walls bare and let this incredible view of New York City act as our artwork. On the opposite side of the unit is the nursery. So I still wanted to keep it neutral and white, but I do have a 1-year-old girl and I figured the right thing to do would be to give her a touch of color. So I introduced hints of pale pink and purple just in artwork and accent pieces so it's not overwhelming. We purchased this piece in Mexico City. I'm a huge fan of buying art when you travel because you can so easily roll up a canvas and bring it home on the plane with you. And when we saw this, we knew it needed to go above her crib. Upstairs is the guest ensuite, but now I want to show you the primary bedroom. So in the primary bedroom, I really wanted to feel like I'm coming home to a hotel. I'm running a company, there's always a million problems that come up all day, and when I come home, I just wanted a space where I could really unwind. So in order to achieve that, we went with all white again. But I really wanted it to still feel like there was textures and layers, so we opted for really nice bedding. And if you're gonna do a really simple bed design, up the game a little with the quality of your bedding so it still feels luxury. We made sure to stick with an upholstered headboard. We have a fluffy rug. We did linen drapes in here as well. Soft elements so it really feels relaxing. In the primary bathroom, we opted for marble walls and floors just so we could stick to white but have that natural element so it doesn't feel too stark. But my favorite feature about this bathroom is this wet room. So it's the shower and the bathtub all in one space. I feel like I'm coming home to a spa, and after a really busy day, this is my favorite place to unwind. When I'm working with clients on designing their engagement ring, I always advise them to really stick to their personal taste since it's something you wear every day. That's the exact same way I feel about interiors. Thanks so much for taking a tour with me today. Hope you enjoyed.
Coming up in just a few, we are with design entrepreneur Cheryl Eisen at one of her newest projects in Tribeca. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Now we're with stager extraordinaire and friend of the show, Cheryl Eisen. If you're in the market for a new home, you've likely seen her chic aesthetic as she's one of the most in-demand home stagers in the business. Now we're inside one of her newest projects, this modern Tribeca loft. Now, as an agent for Sirhan, I have seen this home in person and it truly is one of a kind. See for yourself.
Hi, it's Cheryl from Interior Marketing Group. Today, I'm going to show you this spectacular penthouse we designed in the heart of Tribeca. Come on. It's at the top of the historical cast iron house, which was built in 1881. The architecture of this penthouse extension celebrates scale and fluidity. So we brought in cool tones to honor that architecture and to complement the colors of the city. And you can see this in the great room, which is the center of this home. And it's expansive, both horizontally and vertically. Here in the living room, there are two distinct entertaining spaces, which we've joined together using these two invisible chairs, which, by the way, we designed and fabricated. One of my favorite features of this home are the telescopic glass doors, which flank this space and lead to the exterior. You can fully retract both walls and invite Tribeca right on in. I thought this was the perfect spot for the dining space, and I had the perfect table for this perfect spot. Quick tip, if you need a really long dining table, put two together. And now you have seating for 12, which you'll need if you're entertaining in a space like this. Finishing off the space is this minimalist open kitchen, which is defined by this oversized island. Check out these Bianco Otto countertops, making it the perfect place to cook a meal, eat a meal, or just recline. The white cabinetry is designed to recede into the background, so the chef remains the star of the show. When you have outdoor space like this, you have to take full advantage. So we created a lounge here and alfresco dining there. And the views aren't bad either. And down this hall are a media room and a bar. The second floor has 4 bedrooms and this gallery balcony overlooking the great room. With constant northern light, I knew this wall would be ideal for oversized art. And I never get tired of this view. I thought this light and airy primary suite could use a little grounding. So I added a couple of warm elements to this otherwise cool palette. We centered the bed on this wall to take in both exposures, and nothing beats waking up to views like this. But to make sure you have a cozy sleep, I added a woven fabric headboard, velvet pillows, and a faux fur throw. And a couple of other sweet features of this suite are 2 walk-in closets, a small terrace, and a bathtub with incredible views. And I finished the space off with a lounge area by the window. All of these elements combined just make this space so serene. I never get tired of staging a space like this, and I'm glad you could join me. I'll see you next time.
Don't go anywhere because you are not going to want to miss the hidden history in Manhattan's oldest remaining home. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Now we're in Washington Heights at the Morris Jumel Mansion, an estate with a storied past that is interwoven with the history of New York and the very founding of the United States. The cast of characters includes Washington, Hamilton, and Burr. But the true hero of our story is actually a heroine, Eliza Bowen Morris. In fact, Eliza might be considered the first woman of New York real estate and had impeccable taste to boot. Take a look.
My name is Meg Lynch. I'm the manager of operations here at Manhattan's oldest remaining house. Welcome to the Morris Jumel Mansion. This house was originally built in 1765 for the Morris family. The house sits on the second highest point of all of Manhattan and is one of the reasons why Washington chose it as his headquarters during the American Revolution. But more on that later. The house is now a museum situated inside a New York City public park, and I can't wait to take you inside. Stepping into this house is like stepping through a portal to the past. But the story of the house is actually the story of this woman, Eliza Jumel, who was born in poverty in Providence, Rhode Island, and like many people, moved to New York to reinvent herself. History often overlooks women, and one of the current missions of the museum is to expand these overlooked narratives. So it's fitting that this portrait greets you when you enter the main hall of the mansion. When Eliza Jumel purchased the house in 1810, it was already a dusty old colonial house. So she immediately began a campaign to redecorate, thus establishing herself as a power player in New York real estate. This space served as the main artery of the home, but if you were visiting Eliza Jumel, you would first enter the French parlor. The furniture featured in this room did belong to Eliza Jumel and supposedly belongs to Napoleon I. Like most of the furniture in this house, it has a real pedigree. What makes these pieces really unique is they all have zoomorphic elements, meaning they have animals built into their design. This suite of furniture features swans and dolphins. Not all of the marble in the fireplaces of the house are original, but this one is. Eliza Jumel's first husband, Stephen, spent much of his time in France. Therefore, she was granted his power of attorney, which gave her buying power here in New York. Eliza used this to purchase significant pieces of land down in Lower Manhattan. But what really makes this room interesting, particularly for history buffs, is this is the room where Eliza Jumel married her second husband, former Vice President, Mr. Aaron Burr. Yes, that Aaron Burr. Across the hall, we have the dining room. If you were lucky enough and Eliza invited you for dinner, you would enjoy a meal here. Historic homes give you architectural clues as to the function that each room served. This room clearly was designed to be a dining room, given the serving alcove that sits underneath this elliptical archway. Eliza Jumel's servants would bring the food up from the kitchen in the basement, place it in the serving alcove, and the meal would be served from there. As far as we know, Eliza Jumel didn't enslave anyone. However, this house was very likely built by enslaved labor, like much of New York City. In 1790, Washington hosted a dinner here, and the cuisine was turtle soup. This room is referred to as the octagon room for obvious reasons. This shaped room allowed more light to enter, cross-sectional breezes, and would have amplified sound, and frankly, they were just showing off. Because this is believed to be one of the first octagonal-shaped rooms in America. So the house itself was a New York trendsetter, as were its inhabitants, as you can see from the bold choices in wallpaper and furniture design. So as much as I've shown you down here on this first floor, there's plenty more to see upstairs, so stick around.
Just after the break, we have more at this storied home.
I refer to this room as the room where it happened.
We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. We return to the Morris Jumel Mansion in Washington Heights. Not only is this a museum of New York's past, but also serves the local community, including, at one point, a very famous neighbor who happened to write a very famous musical in one of the rooms.
Here on the second floor, the museum is all about community and supporting the arts. But there's still a vast amount of history here on this floor, including the room that Washington used as his office during the American Revolution. Another groundbreaking thing that Eliza Jumel did was collect European art and would have used these vast hallways to display it. We've taken a page out of Eliza's book and used this space as a rotating exhibition space. Our current exhibition, Surroundings, displays photos of our neighbors and community. Another member of our community is Lin-Manuel Miranda, who wrote parts of Hamilton sitting in this very chair. I refer to this room as the room where it happened. And he picked this room for a reason. This is the room that Eliza Jumel's second husband, Aaron Burr, would have slept in. But this was long after his infamous duel with Hamilton. But Hamilton also plays a role in the house's history. He was stationed here in 1776. He was here for the dinner that George Washington hosted in 1790. And many years later, Eliza Jumel hired his son to divorce Aaron Burr. But in the corner, we also have a bust of Aaron Burr's head. We also have a secretary desk or folding desk that Aaron Burr used during his lifetime. We end the tour in Eliza Jumel's bedroom. Born into poverty, Eliza died one of the wealthiest women in America, and she died in the bed directly behind me. The Morris Jumel is lucky in the sense that most of our collection pieces were actually owned by Eliza Jumel. In addition to the bed in here, we also feature her secretary desk, which you can imagine her running her business from, as well as other bedroom furniture pieces. The wallpaper in this room was recreated using a fragment that we found in our archives. This room was designed to be historically accurate and convey the style of a powerful woman. The Morris Jumel Mansion is a historic house about the history of New York and one woman in particular who was ahead of her time. But this is also a house for New Yorkers, and we're open to the public, so please come visit.
Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we are inside this downtown loft. We'll see you in a bit. Welcome back. Now we join interior designer Marie Burgos in West Soho. Marie brought European elegance to this distinctly New York space, which happens to be a huge loft in a former warehouse. The result is an impressive mix of the chic and the industrial.
Hi, my name is Marie from Marie Burgos Design. I'm very pleased to welcome you today in this beautiful loft that I've designed. This loft is part of a legendary building called the Spice Warehouse. It was built in 1895 as a warehouse for the spice trade. So it was important for my client and I to maintain as many as the original fixtures and details as we could. I describe the aesthetic of this home as a high-end bachelor pad. It's been designed to encourage the perfect city lifestyle. So allons-y, let's start right out of the private elevator. From floor to ceiling, this open living space showcases some of the original historical features, such as the iron columns, a solid wood ceiling beam, and the original brick wall, which were all salvaged from the Spice Warehouse. I grounded the living room with an Italian custom sectional sofa. It has integrated leather side table to place drinks, and lots of plush pillows for comfort while entertaining. It sits over a luxurious Himalayan wood and silk rug in ivory nuances to bring in additional light. The dining area showcases this 12-foot-long live-edge walnut table with comfortable seating, including this high-back floating banquette. To bring glamour, we hung this chandelier and this custom walnut mirror, hung at an angle like in a Parisian brasserie. And now for the main bedroom. I wanted to create a serene, luxurious retreat. We use a leather wall treatment, custom cut in a brick pattern. And because my client's favorite color is blue, we've used blue tones throughout. You can see it in the wool and silk rug and in the high gloss blue wall and the window treatments. The bed is a floating concept with an oversized headboard in a soft cream mohair fabric to contrast with the more masculine leather finish. I hope you've enjoyed seeing my design for this downtown bachelor pad. It's a place where historical details blend perfectly with a chic modern look. Thanks for coming. Au revoir.
I can't believe the show's already over. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe, because we're gonna keep giving you these amazing homes.